What is going on, everybody? Today we're looking at the Hasbro Marvel Legends Supervillains 2-pack of Masque and Crossbones. So this is a pretty cool 2-pack, getting 2 villains to add to our collection of Masque, which of course we've had in the past, but this is an updated version where we got the double knees and elbows and everything, new upgrade body, we get additional head fur as well, come with some weapons and everything, and then same with Crossbones, so a new updated version of Crossbones that looks pretty awesome with his design as well. So we can spin around just to see kind of the pictures they use there from the comics on the back and everything of Masque and Crossbones. Both of those look cool and just nice figure designs overall for these. So I'm excited to check them out. So let me get them open out of the box and we'll take a look at them together. Now let's start off with Madame Masque, who is Whitney Frost. Now she's the daughter of wealthy financier Count Nefaria, and following Nefaria's imprisonment, Whitney became the head of the Magia, known as Big M, and she was eventually involved in an airplane crash where chemicals scarred and permanently disfigured her face, so she began wearing a golden mask and using the name Madame Masque. So she looks cool here, getting this nice design. I don't think we've had a figure for at least in a long time, because I think the one we have is a custom built using her old head and then using like Black Widow body stuff. I'll show that to you, just a custom we made. So getting a nice like full Madame Masque figure here looks really good. So she looks good with her golden faceplate, so that's pretty nice. Love that design. So her mask covering up with her long black hair, and then her outfit design, which does look like something like Black Widow could wear. So we get the black design, especially on the tops, on the shoulders, and on her chest, and a little bit on the top of her thighs there as well. And then white going down the arms, some white straps going around her shoulders there, white midsection, almost like a bathing suit design with a white belt, and then white boots down the feet there as well. So pretty basic design, but looks good with the gold thrown in as well. So on like the zipper, some lines going around throughout the body and stuff there on the belt buckle, and then the design there on the back as well. So it just looks good with it. So a nice Madame Masque figure design here for her. Can't really complain too much about the overall design. Now, movement-wise, her head will twist around. Of course, with the hair, she could have some issues, but easily twist around there with her hair blowing in the wind. Then we get the head down that far and then up that far. It should be moved more. It feels like it's kind of stiff there. It seems like it got loose. So there, it can look down that far and, of course, up just that far because of the hair in the back there. Shoulders will then come up to 90 and then rotate all the way around. Get a bicep twist and the double elbow joint. That'll bend all the way up on itself there. Get the wrist, that'll twist all the way around and flex back and forth. Then we get the ab crunch under her chest there. So just a little bit of crunching back and forth as usual. It doesn't really do too much. It goes back mostly, if anything, but back and forth there. And we'll twist all the way around. Then the hips will come up to 90 and out to the side. Thigh twist all the way around. The double knee joint that bends up that far to the back. And then down to the foot that'll rock back and forth and twist side to side. So good for the movements. Of course, doesn't have all like the best movements or anything. Like, it doesn't have best range, but she does have the double knees and elbows, which I like, especially on the female bodies. So it works out overall nice for that. Couldn't really ask for too much more. Now, accessory-wise, she does come with an additional head. So we get this one that's much less of a mask on. It's almost like, I don't know if that's supposed to be her scarring or what the deal's supposed to be on there. I love how she has the whited out eyes still, though. I like that. So let's switch that head out to see what it looks like. So there's that head design, which I kind of like because I like how the hair is just sort of sitting more flat and stuff. But I do like overall the gold mask a little more, so I'll probably just keep that. I wish we could switch just the hair pieces out. You probably could if you like messed around with it, but yeah, I just like the gold mask look a little more. And for other accessories, she comes with some additional hands, so we get some like white trigger finger hands that'll switch out. And with those, we can give her some accessories. So the pack comes with some accessories that you could give for either one of them, but I'll just kind of go and give it to her since she doesn't seem to have more of her specific accessories. So she comes with this AIM case that you can give her. So of course, AIM Advanced Idea Mechanics sort of case here. That is full of money. So maybe AIM paid her off to work with like the Magia or something to do some work for them. So get a bunch of money in there. So case, so we could take this and obviously put it into her hand with the grip hand. And of course, they're more trigger finger hands, so don't have the best grip hand designs, but you can still get them into her hand there just like that. So she can be carrying that case. But then she also does come with some guns as well in gold design, which is pretty nice. So get 2 pistols, of course the weird looking pistol designs, but one has a silencer, one is just plain, so we can put these into her hands. And I think for her, I kind of like her holding on to that case. So I just went and put one gun in her hand and had her little posed up like that. So that looks pretty cool, holding on to that case like she's just doing a job, maybe trying to escape with some sort of superhero after her and stuff. But we can bring in our old figures. So like I said, this is a custom that we made. So again, using some Black Widow body parts and stuff and the head from that old body. So this is what she looked like. So again, definitely nice to have this upgraded version. Looks so much better than this older one. So with that, and of course, as I mentioned, her dad, Count Nefaria, which we got not too long ago. So there, Count Nefaria as well, that we can bring in here with her. So looks pretty good overall. So like I said, nice to have this version of Madame Masque added to our collection. A nice proper version. I like the design, like I said, with the gold mask and all that. Just wish, as usual, as I kind of mentioned with the hair design, wish we could put the non-flowing hair onto this head because I like the gold mask, but I don't want all the hair there being blown in the wind. But still looks good for a figure design. And then we also get Crossbones, who is Brock Rumlow. Now, he led a gang in New York at a young age, eventually entering Taskmaster School, where he would become an instructor. And while on a mission, he would meet and impress Red Skull, who accepted Brock's services and named him Crossbones, becoming a mercenary, often fighting against Captain America. Now, he has superhuman strength, speed, durability, and reflexes, as well as being an expert marksman. So cool to get an updated version of Crossbones here. Looks pretty nice. Love, of course, the mask design with the mostly all black mask, but then the white like stripe coming down and then almost like skull design and stuff. Looks good with the black around the eyes. So really love that mask design. Then we get his outfit, of course. It looks like he's got like a gray jumpsuit or something on. So like a gray shirt with the sleeves sort of like rolled up or at least tied up there around his biceps and shoulders. And then same sort of colored pants. So not sure if it's all like one suit thing or just a shirt and pants that just happen to be the same color, but looks good. And then has matching gloves and stuff in that gray color as well. Then he has this black vest on over the top, which comes up pretty high, but it's a big bulletproof vest, so you kind of like expect it to be like that. But looks good, especially with the texture and all like the little like clips and stuff. Looks very realistic, so nice design for that. Belt around his waist with all sorts of pockets and of course ammunition and stuff. Some sheaths and holsters, grenades attached on there. Holster on the side of his thigh there as well. Some knee pads and some tactical boots there and black on his feet. So it just looks really cool. This is such a really cool design for Crossbones. Now, movement-wise, his head will twist around. May be hard with the vest, but his head will twist around there. Can look just down that far and up that far. So not a whole lot of range, especially because of that vest in there. Then the shoulders will come up to 90 with the butterfly joint back and forth a little and rotate all the way around. We get a bicep twist and the double elbow joint. That'll bend up that far, which isn't bad at all, especially for big muscle arms like that. Wrist will twist around and flex back and forth. And then we go to the ab crunch. It's kind of hidden there. You can see the crunch actually, but with the vest, it won't really crunch too much, just a little bit back and forth there, and then twist around at the waist. The hips will then come up toward 90 there and out to the side that far. Get a thigh twist around the double knee joint. That'll bend that far to the back. And then we get a shin twist at the top of the boot. And the foot will flex back and forth and twist side to side. So decent movements overall. Nothing really wrong with it or anything. Of course, a bigger guy like this, you're not going to have the best range ever. And especially with like that vest and stuff on. But still moves pretty decent for what he's got. Now, accessory-wise, he does come with some additional hands. So he has the 2 fist hands. We get some trigger finger hands as well, which, of course, with the weapons he comes with, we'll need to switch them out. And then he comes with some weapons. So first we get a knife. So big knife, of course, we've seen this with Marvel Legends for years now. So we get a knife we can put in the sheath here on his side. So just slide that down in there. A little bit stiff to get in there. I don't know if I have it in wrong or anything, but you can stick that in there. We also get some pistols. So we get 2 pistols. Again, same design, or at least similar design overall. They have silencers or suppressors on them. Of course, one has the extended mag and all that, which I'll probably give to him, at least because just to use accessories. But we do get the holster, of course, on one side that we can put one in at least. Squeezed pretty tight in there, but it does fit down in there. And then we can put the other one maybe just in his other hand. So there he's got that gun. Then he also comes with a rifle as well. So bigger rifle, looks good with a red magazine on it. Of course, it almost has a little laser light or something there attached to the mom, little scope up top stuff. Looks good overall. We can put this into his right hand. So there you can have both guns there like that. And we do get accessories for them as well. So some of like the muzzle flashes and stuff. So we get the flashes as well as the smoke. We've had these for years. And of course you can also use these with Madame Masque if we wanted. Let's see if we can plug them in. So their Crossbones has both of those guns with the flashes on them, so that looks cool. And then we also get this explosion as well. Again, it just seems probably like a grenade explosion or something I think they've had from the G.I. Joes. And then you could just use this for anything. So just set it to the side or something like I said, good for go with him or Madame Masque, whatever you want. Of course, not going to be really useful. You just kind of set it to the side there like on the ground, like an explosion going off. But just really nice. It comes with the extra accessories and stuff, you know, for like a battle scene and everything. But then we've had some old Crossbones in the past. We have this one. I don't know like what it is. It's got the old ball hips, so it could just be an older figure. I like the design overall. Of course, he's old and definitely needed updated, but I like his overall look and everything. Looks pretty nice for that version. And then we've had this more modern version, like modernly released version, but of course it doesn't look nearly as well, and the body's all weird and awkward and everything on it. But just going with probably more of that old classic design, where of course these two over here are more modern takes on them and stuff. But looks good overall. I really like this figure design. Definitely my favorite of the 3 Crossbones. And there we have our 2 figures from the Supervillains 2-pack, where we got Madame Masque and Crossbones. Both are really cool. Of course, needed figures, I would say, the collection, especially looking at our past ones. So definitely needed the Madame Masque just to have a more good version of her added to the collection. And then this updated, better version of Crossbones as well that looks better than our past ones. So really nice addition for both of these to our collection. So let me know what you thought of these 2 figures down in the comments. And if you enjoyed my review, let me know what that like and hit the subscribe button to see more. But I want to thank you all for watching. I hope you all stay awesome out there, and I'll see you in our next review.